The WNBA. This has to be the most pathetic professional organization I have ever come across. This has to be the most unprofessional organization I have ever come across. This league would definitely not succeed without Adam Silver saying, here's more money, here's more money, here's more money, here's more money. Without David Stern saying, here's more money, here's more money, here's more money, here's more money. This league would be gone. And that's what happens. When you don't need to think logically, when you don't need to think like a business, when you can continue to put activism at the forefront because daddy's going to continue to pay your bills, you're allowed to get off the rails. You're allowed to say whatever outlandish stuff you want.
The WNBA just handed down a punishment to Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever so absurd, even Angel Reese had to do a double take. And that girl never misses a moment of drama. Was this the league exposing its true bias, or are we just witnessing a live episode of How to Alienate Fans in 10 Games or Less? Either way, it was spicy, chaotic, and unintentionally hilarious. Honestly, if you're not watching for the basketball, stay for the plot twists.
It is embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. It is absolutely embarrassing. And the fact is that originally it's, oh yeah, you know, we're looking towards everything. Then they had to double down. They actually redacted this statement. They redacted a statement. They redacted the statement saying we're looking at everything, saying no, we're actually not looking at most of the stuff. We're looking at a lie spread on social media that went viral. We are looking into a literal lie spread on social media that got spoken into fact.
Let's talk about this beautiful mess known as the WNBA, a league where passion is policed, competitiveness is treated like a character flaw, and real rivalries are flagged as emotional misconduct. Imagine your favorite sport run through a blender of corporate PR manuals, HR training slides, and topped off with a Pinterest quote about kindness. Welcome to the chaos. In one corner, there's Caitlin Clark, elite basketball IQ, smooth execution, and a walking highlight reel. In the other, Angel Reese, who seems to think every game is her personal WWE entrance, complete with stare-downs, trash talk, and enough drama to launch a Broadway revival. If you stand with Caitlin Clark, drop a I stand with CC in the comments.
Okay, so I didn't hear anything outside of the run-of-the-mill booing. But the WNBA seems content to follow through with this ridiculous investigation. Who is the WNBA going to let control their pocket strings, their pocketbooks? Because it seems to me like the new fans are the ones that's funding this whole league now.
So here's the scene. Caitlin Clark does what she does best. Makes a smart, clean, strategic play. It's aggressive, sure, but nothing you wouldn't see in literally every competitive league on Earth. But this is the WNBA, where intensity is apparently a punishable offense. Suddenly, her play becomes headline news. Not because it was dirty, but because someone caught feelings.
We make up about 70% of the fans overall. Otherwise, yesterday's game would have been watched by about 400,000 people, maybe. It probably got watched by what? Upwards of 2 million? I mean, does the WNBA want to lose Caitlin Clark fans?
Fans yell and fans scream and fans try to do anything they can to diminish their opponent's ability to make a bucket. And I think that it's very hard to really understand or really interpret this sound that way. At least for me it is. And I'm really, really, really hoping that the WNBA did not just announce an official investigation based on internet hearsay.
Angel, of course, reacts like someone just keyed her car in the parking lot. And Clark? She walks off ice cold, calm, unbothered, total boss move. But guess who made the headlines? Not Angel for escalating. Nope. The league decided to crack down on, wait for it, the Indiana Fever fans.
I don't know why I'm so angry about this. Is because how many kids are there in that audience? How many kids are there? And I'm sorry. I'm cool with idiots online branding me with whatever they want to. But when it comes to innocent kids who just want to watch their favorite team, favorite players play basketball, and thankfully they're going to be oblivious to this. But I'm sorry, you're branding kids as dangerous. You are branding kids who are just enjoying their game, who are having the time of their lives watching this league as dangerous. This league does not want to grow. This Players Association do not want to grow. NECA won't.
The fans. Those wild criminals who had the audacity to boo after their star player was targeted. How dare they show emotion at a sporting event? According to WNBA logic, loyalty now counts as misconduct. They're turning every cheer into a liability, every passionate moment into a PR crisis. It's like the league wants every game to feel like a wellness retreat. No yelling, no rivalries, just polite clapping and mindfulness exercises.
People are writing emails because they're so emotionally unhinged. They're so emotionally unhinged. They've never been checked a day in their life. Their parents allow them to act like fools. With no repercussion, with no consequence. Always being acquiesced to every little complaint, to every little need, to every little this, to every little that. They're writing emails to get the Indiana Fever.
This could have been the WNBA's moment. Caitlyn vs. Angel is the storyline they were handed on a silver platter. It's box office gold. People are actually talking about the league, and not because they stumbled across it while looking for HGTV, but instead of leaning into the rivalry and building it up like every other successful league in history, the WNBA decided to throw a doily over it and ask everyone to please keep their voices down. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark has unintentionally become the league's Rorschach test. Depending on who you ask, she's either the savior of women's basketball or a mythical villain ruining the game by simply being great. If you see greatness, congrats, you've got eyes. If you see a threat, maybe you're just not ready for what real talent looks like, and if you dare to defend her, well, enjoy your stay in WNBA exile, where logic is banned and nuance goes to die.
Hours ago, we had a situation that shook the earth. That is Caitlin Clark putting a flagrant foul on Angel Reese, and that foul arguably was probably one of the most transcendent moments in Caitlin Clark's career. To me, that moment there showed the world that Caitlin Clark wasn't backing down for nothing, and she wasn't scared to get in the mix when it comes to protecting her teammates, stopping somebody from making a basket. Well, many other Angel Reese fans had rage war against Caitlin Clark fan base by saying racial slurs online, and me personally, I'm staying out of the race stuff as of right now. But for them to sit up there and lie and say that Angel Reese again called racist names during the game, I had somebody from my team sitting right behind Chicago Sky Bench. Wasn't nobody saying nothing about it.
Let's not forget how this all started. There was a game, an actual basketball game. Clark made a solid, competitive play. Reese reacted like she'd been personally insulted. Clark walked away with more composure than the WNBA's entire PR department could dream of, and the league's response? Punish the fans. Because when in doubt, blame the people who still care. You almost have to admire the WNBA's consistency. They'll perform Olympic-level mental gymnastics to avoid calling out Angel Reese or addressing Kathy Engelbert's selective silence. Angel's antics? Just emotion. Her over-the-top post-game behavior? She's passionate. But if few fans boo with a tone that's a little too assertive, suddenly, it's time to break out the citations and clutch the pearls.
7 of their players have been called racial slurs for an entire day, but they're on the Indiana Fever. They don't care about those players. It's only certain players. The WNBA players, they don't want Caitlin Clark, and it's very clear. The WNBPA releasing a statement is the most embarrassing thing I've seen, because you know what? When it comes to the Fever players, it doesn't count. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. WNBPA said something. And you know what? Their stance is clear. There's no place for hate unless it's towards Caitlin Clark or her teammates. Then it's fair game. They have made that point abundantly clear.
This league acts like competitiveness is an act of aggression, that letting rivalries breathe somehow threatens their kumbaya image, as if every player should leave the court arm in arm, singing friendship ballads and swapping smoothie recipes. But here's the thing. Fans don't want a pastel-colored group therapy session. They want edge. They want fire. They want passion. And Clark versus Reese delivers all of that on a silver platter. So what does the league do? It punishes emotion, suppresses fire, tries to sterilize the most entertaining matchup they've had in years. It's like having primetime TV and choosing to run reruns of the Weather Channel. The league should be thanking Caitlin Clark for making the WNBA matter again, not turning her into a villain for daring to compete at the highest level.
Lost sight of reality. They lost sight of what real sports is about. The fans at the Indiana Fever game yesterday, they were being fans. They booed. They cheered. They screamed. They yelled. That's it. The Angel Reese fans, the old guard, the lowest common denominator that resides in the WNBA, the nose picker, people that scratch their butt and don't wash their hands, those people saw that Caitlin Clark hard foul on Angel Reese, and they saw it as an opportunity. They saw it as an opportunity to do what they always do. Make it about